Thomas DeFipolo is with us here on the John Mendola Show for Marywood. Thomas, let's talk a little bit about being a Pacer. What's the experience been like for you?
It's been great. Been here now. I'm a junior now, so it's my third year under Coach Mastroianni. It's been a great experience so far.
Let's talk about him. He has a presence about him and a confidence about him, and he seems to bring it out in all you guys. So talk about that part.
Yeah, Coach, for the first day I met him, he was like, I'm a family guy, I'm an intense guy, you know, and he instills confidence in his players. So when you go on the floor, you feel confident, you don't have to look over your shoulder. You know, if I mess up, he's going to take me out. You just have all the confidence in the world when you're out there.
You talk about that family component. He kind of can separate both. Hey, he's got the family that he puts a lot of energy at home.
Oh, yeah,
he puts a lot of energy into you guys. That's a different type of family. But knowing that there's a respect factor. Talk about that experience to say, okay, I know what I'm getting here.
Oh yeah, well he's straight up with you. There's no beating around the bush with him. He's going to tell you, hey, you messed up, or hey, you're doing well, keep doing what you're doing, and critique you, and that's what you want from your coach. You don't want to be blindsided by something. So if he tells you the way it is, it's what you want.
Let's talk about where you call home and what your high school experience was like.
I'm from New Jersey, the Jersey Shore. Went to Henry Hudson Regional High School in a small town called Highlands. Small school, but it was a lot of fun for me. Small gym, gets loud, gets packed, so my school experience was really good.
You always hear the people that live down by the beach where they come to the mountains, they love it, and vice versa. Us mountain people up here, we like the beach. So what's home like here in Scranton, Pennsylvania at Marywood?
Scranton's fun. It's a lot different than being at the beach. Obviously no beach around here, but you know, there's things to do around in the city. I'm here with my best friends, so it's a lot of fun with them.
You got a big family, older, so they have some experience. So talk about the siblings and what they've kind of showed you the ropes, and you seem like you've taken it and you've run with it.
Yeah, I got 3 older brothers, Bob, Dave, and Jay, all much older than me, but they've showed me everything. Grew up with all of them. They toughened me up when I was a kid. Lived with all of them, so they've been great role models for me. Kinesiology,
Let's talk a little bit about that.
It's like a athletic training, physical education type course about the body and movement. So it's a really hard course, but it's really interesting to learn like how your tendons and your muscles work together to make the body move a certain way. It's challenging, but it's very interesting.
You're thinking about maybe a basketball coach and a teacher down the road.
Yeah, I'm a health and phys ed major, so I want to be a teacher, obviously a gym teacher, but I really want to become a basketball coach, whether that's high school to start and college and whatever from there.
Let's talk about the classes and the grind. You call it the grind, but you get some free time. You can wake up a little later if you want, depending on your schedule. Have some night classes. What's that experience been like for you at Marywood?
Well, here at Marywood, health and phys ed, you have to take a lot of credits. So I take 18 credits basically every semester. So I'm pretty packed throughout the day with 5 to 6 classes. But even with that, you still have your free time. So it's important that you budget your time, do your homework, and then with basketball with it, it kind of helps you budget your time because I got to practice at this time, I got to do my homework now, so it helps you out.
Talk about a role model in your life, your mom. I know your brothers you really look up to, but talk about how you lean on your mom.
My mom, she's been there my whole life, so she taught me everything. My father left when I was younger, but now he's come back into my life, so that's been good for me. But my mom raised me, and she's taught me everything I know, so I just learned from her. She's a hard worker.
Who can we see in the stands rooting you on when you're out there playing?
Definitely gonna see my mom. My brothers come occasionally. My old high school coach comes a lot. We have a great relationship. That's probably it.
As far as these guys behind us, you said you guys have a close relationship. Talk about you and the Pacers and you guys kind of walking around campus and what that experience is all like.
Being close like that, it helps so much on the court when you guys are so close off the court because you care about each other. You care what you're doing, how that person's doing. So that just translates to on the court stuff. And we hang out every single day, whether it's practice or playing video games at the dorm or whatever. We're always together.
Well, Thomas, you can hear how articulate you are. I think you'll do well, whether it's coaching or teaching.
Yes.
We wish you the best going forward.
Thank you very much.
Donovan Catchings is with us from Marywood. We're talking about the Pacers basketball team, and we're here, man. It's October. Everybody waiting for this time of year. Let's talk about you guys getting into the gym and getting after it and officially kicking off the season.
So we had workouts like as soon as we got to school, but we started a couple days earlier because we're going to Canada this year, so we're getting to start practices earlier, so that's fun.
Let's talk about the whole Canada thing, where you guys going, and what do you expect from that experience?
We're going to Toronto to play Toronto University, so that should be fun, like this big stadium and new atmosphere. So.
Let's talk about the hard part, maybe. You guys all have to make sure you have passports and all that stuff. And You guys take care of that a long time ago. Make sure you guys are all good.
Coach was on top of it, letting us like due dates and everything, but he was pretty much on top of it, so we were too.
Well, it should be a good cultural experience heading to Canada. Let's talk about you and the guys and what you guys do off the court, what you do on the court, what the experience has been like.
It's really fun. We're a close group of guys, so everybody gets along really well. We all mesh, we all hang out a lot of times, like playing 2K and stuff like that. So.
How about as far as your position, your guard, to talk about what do you think your contributions are going to be this year on the court?
You know, picking up the tempo of the game. We're trying to play at a faster pace this year. So, you know, just keeping the energy up and keeping the guys moving.
You have a brother, Rob, who's 23, so tell us about what he's up to.
He's actually finishing up at Lincoln University. He's on the football team there, so he's an accounting major. He plays running back.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good for him. Biology, one of your favorite subjects.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what you hope to do with your career.
Hopefully, maybe physician assistant school. I think that would be really fun. I think that's a nice career to pursue.
Your father and your brother, two of your role models. So tell us about what qualities you really look up to in both of those fellas, and what, you know, maybe you emulate some of the things that they bring.
They're really hard workers. Like my brother playing collegiate football at Lincoln, and my dad, you know, works long hours. So I just like respect their hard work ethic.
As far as Coach Mastroianni, let's talk a little bit about your relationship with him. And one of your fellow teammates says, you know, he loves the part of he's real. He tells you the way it is, and whether you like it or not, at least you know where you stand.
Yeah, he's really honest with you. He wants the best for us, and just pushes us to get there. And like I said, so I've been here 1 year now, and he's just like really helped me grow.
You went to Dallastown High School.
Yep.
You came all the way up here to Scranton, Pennsylvania to go to Marywood. So talk about what it was like back home being an athlete, and what's it been like on the college level.
It was pretty much the same. I think high school really prepared me for college. I think my coach did great there. Kind of taught me like what I would need to know, and really gave me like the building blocks that I need here.
Marywood's kind of a quiet campus overall, but I'm sure you guys find time to make it fun and do all the fun things you're supposed to as a college guy. Talk about being able to hang out with some of the guys and just, you know, enjoy each other's company.
Most of the guys like live around each other, and like, you know, like 2K tournaments, that's big. Like we like to play a lot of video games together, and it's just really fun.
Well, Donovan, we hope you have a successful 2018 campaign, and enjoy Canada this weekend.
Thank you.
Adam Busada is with us here on the John Mendola Show as we talk Marywood basketball. Adam, let's go back to high school, talk about where you're from and what your high school career was like.
I'm from Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, the Harrisburg area, and I went to Cedar Cliff High School. High school experience was really good for me. Basketball games, the community was really involved. It's a 6A school, so you got a good environment, student sections, opposing teams, packed crowds, sold out games. I mean, it was great.
Let's talk about knowing that you wanted to play college basketball and then finding the right school for you. So talk about what that was like, saying, okay, this is what I want to do. I got to work hard, but then finding the right fit.
Well, for me, it wasn't hard to commit to Marywood because what stood out to me was, I mean, they were early on me recruited. They were there from the jump more than other schools. So I had been very comfortable with them throughout the whole process, and the entire campus and Marywood community felt very welcoming and comfortable, which I loved.
Let's talk about building the relationship with Coach Mastroianni, what that experience has been like, the kind of guy he is, and we've heard a little bit from your teammates. Now let's hear it from you.
He's a great guy. He's funny. I mean, I like talking to him. Really friendly. He jokes around a lot, which I like. But then when it's time to work, you know that it's time to work. And I mean, he does a lot for us, so it makes it easier to play part of the court for him.
Let's talk a little bit about you have a couple siblings, what they're up to, and what they're doing in their life.
I have an older sister, Miriam. She's 23, just graduated from Temple, and she's working for the state right now, trying to do something with political science. I'm not really sure yet, but she's back at home. And then my younger sister, Hannah, just started high school, so I'm a little nervous for her, but she's having fun with it.
Well, that's nice. Let's talk about accounting. Your major and something that you really enjoy, finance. What are you thinking down the road here?
I'm trying to double major in accounting and finance, and I like working with numbers a lot. So that was kind of an easy choice for me to do that. And I want to, get involved in the firm, do something like that. But I was told if I can do both, I can have more opportunities. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Numbers big in the family? Anybody good with them? Or are you kind of like, you think you're the first guy in that kind of area?
My dad's an engineer, so that might go from there. My mom's a teacher, so I don't know, maybe a little bit, but
You're a pretty fortunate guy.
Yeah,
You got some good genes there, but
Yeah.
let's talk about your mom as a role model and why she inspires you and what qualities you look up to in her.
She's taught me to be very independent growing up. I know it may sound dumb, but kind of like doing things on my own. So even as a kid, I'd have to make my own appointments and stuff. And I mean, just stuff like that, like little things has taught me how to do things on my own. And I just really appreciate everything that she's done for us and working hard to support a family. So it just taught me to be very independent and do things on my own.
Well, Adam, we appreciate your story. We wish you the best going forward.
Thank you.
Thomas Schwartz is with us from Marywood. We're talking about the basketball program here on the John Mendola Show. And Thomas, you and I spoke last year. You guys had some success last year. You guys want a little bit more. I know Coach wants a little bit more. You want a little bit more. So talk about what you think you worked on in the offseason to get you guys have more success in 2018-19.
Yeah, I mean, I think coaches did a good job of bringing in new talent year over year, which has helped us, as you saw last year. I think a lot of guys are in a lot better shape at this point in the season now than compared to last year. Want to get up and down more, so the guys are in condition, talent's there, we should be in good shape like last season.
How about mentally for you? Talk about your preparation here. Senior year, you got to lay it all on the line. What kind of season do you want to have as a Pacer?
I just want to improve in every way, shape, and form from last season. Had a good season last year, so I'm just looking to get better in every way. Scoring, rebounding, assists, and most importantly, leading this young core of talent that we have here at Marywood.
Talk to a few of your teammates about the relationship they have with Coach Mastroianni. Talk a little bit out on your end, what that's like. One of the biggest things that stood out is, he's real. He's going to tell you the way it is, and they kind of welcome that, saying, I'm okay with that. He's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, definitely a very passionate coach. We've both been here for 4 years, so it's been a journey. It's been a great journey, rather. But yeah, he's passionate. He's real. Shoots straight with you. So we appreciate that as players.
You and I had talked a little bit about your relationship with your brothers last year. Let's talk about a year later and more advice and more listening and talk a little bit about just growing that relationship with them.
Yeah, I have a strong bond with all three of my brothers. My brother Phil there, he gets on me. He goes to a lot of the games, so if I'm not playing well, he lets me know if I'm playing well. He doesn't really want to own up to that. But yeah, having my brothers there in the stands and in the games just makes you dig a little deeper. It's a great feeling.
Try to get a little bit more micro-focused as you get through college. Has yours stayed the same with that possible career in real estate? Has everything kind of stayed the same as to what you want to do?
Yeah, for the most part. This past summer, I interned in New York City at a commercial real estate firm. I really loved the experience, so I'm hoping to end up in that same realm possibility this year, post-grad.
When you evaluate your team from last year, and obviously Coach had his evaluation, you guys do your own thing, but what do you think some of those keys are this year in the league? What you need to do to be more consistent? Is it getting up and down the floor a little bit quicker? Is it playing a little tougher defensively?
I'd say tougher, a little more physical. The top teams in the league are big, strong, fast. So I think we have the pieces in place to compete. I just think if we're physical, hit the glass, we'll be right in the mix again this year.
Uncle Paul, I know, is special to you, and tell us about how that continues your relationship with him.
It's been great. I look up to him because he was a collegiate athlete. He was a rower at Princeton, rowed in the Olympics, so he was an extremely successful athlete. And now he's in the real estate field, so kind of following right in his footsteps.
There's a lot to look up to there, and you're doing some great stuff. This Canada trip coming up, talk about those possibilities seem pretty cool. Making sure you check out with the passport and all those things, but talk about what you're looking forward to with Toronto.
Well, I've never been out of the country, so it's pretty exciting. We get to play against the University of Toronto and Seneca College, both pretty good teams, so that should be a great experience. And then they have a bunch of stuff planned for us while we're up there, so it should be a great experience, good team bonding. So
Thomas Schwartz, a pleasure to always talk with you again this year, and we hope you have a fantastic senior season.
Thank you.
Enrico Mastroianni here on the John Mendola Show, Marywood Pacers basketball. Coach, always great to see you.
Great to see you.
Seeing you very early in the year here, at the beginning of October, but your guys are really excited. This Canada thing right at the beginning seems like it's going to be a great thing, a great experience for everybody.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. It's been a long time for Marywood basketball to be on a trip like this. I think it's been almost 10 years maybe, and it's first time for me taking a team internationally, which is awesome and cool too. And the guys are real excited about it. Plus, we have that luxury of getting in the gym a little bit earlier this year. We have to watch their legs, obviously. That's a concern with doing this right before the season. But I think all in all, it's going to be a great trip for us.
Big changes this year, and then it just kind of hit you in the face. You remember hearing about it last year. I'm like, oh yeah, Marywood. Talk a little bit about the competition, the league, and all that new stuff for the Pacers.
Sure. Yeah, we moved into the Atlantic East Conference now. It's a new conference. Still a lot of the same competitors, Cabrini, Gwynedd, Mercy, Newman, the top dogs still in the Philly market. And then we added in Marymount in Arlington, Virginia, and Wesley in Delaware. And, it's going to be competitive. I think it's going to take a couple years to really get our footing as a conference. We still need a couple teams to try to get that automatic bid. Automatic qualifier rather, and but it's looking good. There's a lot of prospects out there. Schools have expressed interest, so we're just kind of wait and see at this point.
Let's talk about the recruiting trail, and you're a hard-working guy. I know you're out there all the time, and much like most Division III coaches, you guys are grinded. Talk about the talent that you brought in here for 2018-19.
Yeah, we're real excited. We actually have a local flavor this year. We brought in Jason Holman from Riverside. Big kid, shoots the ball a little bit, and we're hoping his size will be an advantage for us. He can stretch guys out on the perimeter a little bit. Shane Merrifield from West Scranton, tough competitor, hard-nosed kid. He's one of the hardest working guys on the team. And Joey Judge from Holy Redeemer. So a lot of good young talent. Obviously Anthony DeGore is another player that we brought in. Unfortunately, Anthony from Honesdale, he had an injury early in the summer, and unfortunately, he's not going to be able to play this year, but we'll have him, for next year. And I just all in all, great guys. Real excited to have him here. I'm really looking forward to the future. Plus, we brought in some transfers, some guys that I think are going to help us right away and make us more competitive than we otherwise would have been with our incoming class.
One of the things in talking to some of your guys on your team here is they love the fact that you're real. You're going to tell them the way it is. Yeah. But they kind of welcome that. Say, you know what? I may not be doing everything right, but he's the real deal. Like he's going to say, listen, your ball handling needs a lot of work. Right now you're going to sit out. Until you can kind of work on that. So talk a little bit about where that comes from, the way you grew up, and
Sure.
the game of basketball, and just trying to make sure you have that connection.
Right. Well, I tell them all the time, I could lie to you, and you're going to hate me sometime down the road. Or you could hate me now, I'll tell you the truth, and you'll love me later for it, And I think that tough love concept, that hard-nosed coaching, I kind of grew up in that. Played for Kenny Bianchi from now Abington Heights, but when I was at West Scranton, Kenny was there, and he told us like it was. He told us the truth, and for a short time there, maybe a year or so, we had Jackie Lyons with us too, and Jackie was a tough, hard-nosed coach, and we kind of took on the mantra of our coaches. We played tough defense. We played with that hard-nosed West Side mentality and got after it. And I really don't know how to coach any other way, John. I think it's tough love for sure, and the love part is important too. We tell the guys like it is, but we also put our arm around them and tell them how much we care about them, how much they mean to us, and we appreciate their hard work every day.
Your separation of family between what you have at home, what you have at Marywood, those guys see that and can kind of say, you know what? This guy's a family first kind of guy, but we're really important. We're right there with that. Talk a little bit about, that's an easy selling point, I would think, for kids and for families that you're going into their homes to recruit them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I think, relatively speaking, most coaches would be the same way. It's just, I'm 100% Italian, so that whole family thing and being together all the time, it's important to me. We have the guys at the house whenever we can. We've had different moments where my family's been involved in different things that we're doing. They'll be with us on this trip to Canada, so the guys get to see that model, that lifestyle, not just for me, but our other assistant coaches. And I think it's important to them. I think it's something that they value. they respect, and again, it's like you said. I mean, we spend a lot of time with these guys, and if I'm not at home with my kids, I'm with them. So.
No pre-rehearsed question. I'm
Sure.
going to throw one at you, though.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit about 3 things that you said, okay, between 2017-18 and 18-19, this is what we need to do as a program. What would you say those 3 things are at Marywood?
Well, I would say we need to get stronger with ball control. We need to maintain the ball. I think we turned it over a little bit more than we'd like. But at the same time, we need to speed up. And the tempo is one of the things that we've really worked on in this preseason. Speaking of our conference and the competitors that we face, they play a fast-paced kind of game. And we'd like to be able to play that way. And being a little bit smaller this year, we don't have a traditional 5-man. We don't have a back-to-the-basket post, so to speak. So we've got to be able to play a little bit faster, and that's something that we've been working on.
Overall, your welcome change with some of the teams you're going to be playing.
Yeah.
You just said traveling to Virginia, traveling to Delaware. Let's talk about the home cooking and what it's like, and you get the student body there at Marywood and the support, and,
Sure.
and these guys are walking around campus. And they're trying to support some of the other programs as well, but that's always got to be the fun part of it.
Absolutely, yeah. Marywood's done a great job. We've had a few initiatives recently to try to promote athletics. We've had some banners hung up in the gym and around campus, on flag posts, different Pacers symbols all around. Some of our athletes have been featured and put up in big posters in the Center for Athletics and Wellness. Thomas Schwartz, our senior captain, is one of them, has been up there. And I think people are starting to rally around it and really excited about what we've been doing. Not just from a basketball perspective, but athletics in general. It's really on the rise right now at Marywood, and I think it's a sign of big things to come.
Nice group of those guys back. Schwartz, one of the leaders this year. Talk about the type of leadership you're going to expect out of him this year.
Well, he's a lead by example guy. I mean, he's a hard-working kid. He's a winner. He's a fighter, competitor. He's come a long way from his freshman year, where he was a little bit more difficult to coach because he kind of had his mindset on things he wanted to do, and most players do. They come from success. They expect to continue it. But he really allowed us to coach him, and that was one of the major differences in our success last year from the year before. I don't know if he told you this or not, but he won the national championship for free throw percentage at Division III this year, this past year, 94%, 94 out of 100 free throws. So he's been setting the bar pretty high, and the guys have kind of risen to that level, and I expect he'll do that this year as well.
Doesn't surprise me, his story about his Uncle Paul being an Olympic athlete,
Sure.
that type of stuff, that he reaches for the moon. Talk about your coaching staff this year.
Yeah.
Any changes?
Absolutely, yeah. We have the usual suspects, our guys that have been there with me through the trenches. Coach Chris Stafalo from the Lakeland area, German PA, and Coach Joe Piccarello from Dunmore, PA. Gary Isaacson was with us last year. He's back with us this year. And we added Zach Bruner. We brought up a guy from the other side of the valley there, from a former Wilkes player, star at Wilkes, and great competitor, and now he's doing the heavy lifting for us here at Marywood as our newest assistant coach. So real excited to have Zach around.
I could come up and give the announcement for Zach Bruner. Great guy. He'll be a great addition to you, Coach. Have a successful 2018-19 season.
I really appreciate it, John. Thank you so much.
Zach Bruner with us, a graduate assistant with the Marywood University basketball program. Zach is just a stone throw away. I mean, we're talking, 6 months ago, you were out there playing for a college program down the street at Wilkes University. This is a quick transition. Talk a little bit about what it was like playing 4 years at Wilkes and your whole experience as a Colonel, now transitioning into a Pacer.
I think I had a great 4 years at Wilkes with Coach Metz. We were able to have a really good season last year. I think we were 19-9. So a little different now with the coaching side up in Marywood, but definitely an eye-opening experience. But I'm very grateful for Coach Enrico and the guys that take me in, and just trying to learn as much as I can.
You go from being a young guy as a player to developing, then you get a bunch of experience. You had some leadership ability there as a Colonel. Now you got to kind of have that hat on you that you're just a coach at this point, and even though you're very young, what's it like having that separation?
I would say the biggest thing is, for me, I joked around with Coach in practice the other day. Practices go a lot quicker when you're coaching. I remember practices down at Wilkes, it seemed like they lasted forever running, and now that I'm coaching, it just seems blinking of an eye, the 2 hours go fast.
But definitely just bringing the same mindset as a player and a coach. I just want to work as hard as I can, learn as much as I can. And I just remind the guys on the team now that, I know what you've been through, so.
You have a lot to offer. You kind of have that lunch pail mentality. You come in, you're a real even keel kind of guy when you're playing, and now as you're coaching, you find yourself to kind of still have that same mentality?
Yeah, definitely. I always kind of had the mindset to never get too low, get too high, just to keep going, especially in basketball, the game's never over. So as a player, I kind of had that mentality, and then as a coach, you just kind of tell the kids that, keep working hard, game's never over, you never know what's going to happen.
Fitting in with the coaching staff. It starts with Coach Mastroianni. You got to have a certain bond and a relationship, and talk about going through that process and saying, I think I could work with this guy and the other coaches.
Yeah, actually when I first met Coach Enrico, Coach Stefano, they were actually really good guys. They joked around a little bit with me. They both joke around about how Marywood beat Wilkes last year. So I mean, it's really fun. But both of them, on the other side, they're great coaches, teach me a lot, but they also ask me, how I'm doing outside of it with classes and my personal life. So, they're really great guys.
You talk about doing a lot of the grunt work. It's not easy. It's not a glorified position, being a graduate assistant. What are some things you're doing? And maybe you did it at Wilkes as a player, breaking down film and different things like that, but talk about putting in those hours and being able to kind of hone your craft and learn.
Yeah, definitely. Right now, I haven't done too much scouting. Obviously, I still have a little bit until the season starts. But since we've been we're going to the trip to Canada, we're doing a lot of preparation for that. And then, as you know, we started practice, so a lot of practice planning, talking to the coach, seeing, recommending different drills, going through our offense and defense. So.
Let's talk about the graduate part of it, or what you hope to do down the road. But maybe this coaching thing will kind of be a bug for you, and it'll be something else. Tell us about the means to an end. Obviously, it works for you. It works for them.
Yeah.
It's going to work for Coach Mastroianni. Who knows what the future will hold? But let's talk about all those things being said. What you're going to do?
Yeah, definitely. I really enjoy coaching now. It doesn't really feel like a job, So even though I may be there for a while, it's something I love. I love the game of basketball. I love being around the kids, the coaches. So to me, it doesn't really feel like a job. So I am taking that. We're taking it day by day, but I really do enjoy coaching, so that's something I think that's in my future.
One last time, a Zachary Bruner. Wish you the best of luck at Marywood.
Thank you, appreciate it.